this is Carla and welcome back to the studio, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So for this Thursday, I am going to feature the Color and Contour bundle. This one actually recently retired from our last annual catalog. So the stamp set, it's a photopolymer stamp set. You have some sketchy designs of flowers, and then you have the filler pieces and some pretty cool fonts in our greetings. And then it also coordinates with the Scalloped Contours dies. Now what's cool about these dies, now you do have two dies that will die cut the stamped images, but then the rest of these dies here are rectangle stitched and scalloped, and then there's also a stitched scallop die that you can use for the edge of your cardstock. So really cool bundle, and that's what we're going to be using for today. So for my first card, let me bring in all of my pieces here. So for my first card, I have a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored F4 1/4. Hold on just 1 second, everyone. I have a fan that's blowing on me, but unfortunately it's trying to blow my stuff away, so that's better. Okay. So again, I have a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it F4 1/4. I have another piece of basic white. Now this is an oddball shape, and I will explain why it is. This one measures 4 by 2 11/16. And then I have scraps of basic white, polished pink, and granny apple green. So let me bring in the dies that I'm going to be using and the stamp. So with the dies, let me get them. We'll be using this larger scallop, and I'll be die cutting my polished pink out of that. And then I'll take the next smallest one here, and I'm going to die cut my granny apple green piece. And then this piece here, this basic white, will actually fit right in the center of this die right here. So let me put that aside, and we'll put that aside because we're going to do all of our die cutting at the same time. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base, and I'll set that aside. And then on this piece, I'm going to do some stamping. Now I should have taken my stamps out, and I should have mounted them before I started. I did not do that. So I'm just going to quickly pull out the pieces that I need, along with my greeting that says, "You're absolutely amazing." And then I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo black ink and my granny apple and polished pink. And then I have Pretty in Pink and Melon Mambo. So this card's going to have a lot of pink on it. Okay, so let me get my blocks and my stamps on them. And let's see, we got one for the amazing and one more for this leaf image. Okay, so I'm going to take the outline of my flower and my Memento black ink. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp this 3 times. Like so. Okay, we're done with that. And then I'm going to bring in this filler piece here, and I am going to stamp these flowers in each of my pinks. And I have, oh, and I got black ink on my card base. Good job. So make sure I don't have ink all over my hands. Okay, and then I have my chamois right here. Okay, so now let me determine which way that this is going to go. This stamp doesn't have to perfectly line up with the outline, but we want to kind of come fairly close. Let's see. Okay. I think it goes this way. Okay. Okay, I'm going to ink that up. And ink that. And I'll clean that off. And then I'll bring in my polished paint. Make sure that's dry. And I will stamp that one right here. Clean it up. And then bring in my Pretty in Pink. Now, Pretty in Pink was a color we had a long time ago, and it made its way back in our new in color. So this color is available again. The polished pink did retire. Now, my Pretty in Pink ink pad is very, very inky. So what I'm going to do is I have a spoon, and I'm going to just use the back of my spoon to push that ink into the pad, because too much ink, you don't get that detail out of the stamp. Let's try that again. Okay, and the way I was able to tell, I saw bubbles of the ink on the stamp. Okay, and then there we go. Now, I want to mention, if you've been here with me in my past videos, I changed something up a little bit this time. It should be a little bit brighter down on this end, on the bottom end of my video. I did get additional lights on the side of my table, so I'm hoping that you can see everything really well and it's not washed out. From what I'm seeing through my phone, it looks pretty good. Okay, so then with these flowers, there is the die that cuts those out. So let me grab that. So there's that die, and I'm going to set that aside because we're going to die cut that too. And it looks like I am at that point where I'm ready to die cut. So I will be right back. Okay, so let me bring in my pieces. Now, with this Granny Apple green piece, I am going to cut that in half diagonally. So let me bring in my paper trimmer. And this is our scoring tool, so we don't want that. I'm going to take my scallop piece here, and I'm going to line this corner up. Let me move it down just a little bit. So I'm going to line it up in the track from corner to corner. and get that in there evenly. And then I'm going to go and cut it in half, like so. Let's move this out of the way because we don't need this anymore. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal, or actually with this I'll bring in my liquid glue. So I have a fine tip glue bottle that I got a whole package of them off of Amazon. And in here is our mono multi-purpose or green glue that we sell in our catalog. So I'm going to add some. I'm going to try not to get it past the stitched part because I don't want the glue to ooze out. And I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to add, did I cut this wrong? I think I cut this wrong. Haha, I cut it wrong. Okay, so not a problem. We'll just put it in the opposite corner. So my sample, I will show you the sample when I'm done, where I evidently cut it the other way and it went in these two corners. So not a problem. We'll just change it up a little bit. Okay. And then I'll place this one up in this corner like so. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece here, and actually I can use my Stampin' my seal and go a little bit faster. Let's see, this is the back. Let's make sure that's the back. Yep. I'm going to add some in the back here. And then I'll center this like so. Okay, and then on this piece I'm going to do some more stamping. So I'm going to bring in the greeting that says you're absolutely amazing. I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp this bottom corner like so. And then I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green ink. And there is a leaf image, kind of like a scribbly leaf image. And I'm going to stamp this like 3 times. So I'm going to put one like up in this corner here. And then another one kind of like over here. And then I'll stamp one more. Let's see, right down here. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my light Granny Apple Green blend. And I'm going to use the brush tip. Usually I use the bullet tip, but I'm just doing a really quick brush of color on these leaves. And if it goes outside the line, I mean, that's fine. And I'm just going to go and follow that squiggly line. Since these images have kind of like a watercolor feel to them. Yeah, if it's not fully colored in, that's fine too. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to do a quick coloring of the center of my flowers. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece here, add some adhesive to the back, and I'm going to add that right in the center of my polished pink piece, and it'll fit right within that stitched line in that die. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to add, let's see, which one is this one? We'll put them down individually. Okay, so then this one, I'm going to add this one right here. And then, let's see, we want this one. Okay, and then this one, let's see, where am I putting this one? I'm going to take this one and we're going to stick this one right here. And then for my last one, I'm going to just take two of my dimensionals and I'm going to add them right here, because part of my flower will be overlapping on top of these two, so I don't want to have like an extra lift on this one. Okay, so then I'm going to place this flower right there. Now I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella because we got to add some bling to this card. So I'm going to start off with my lighter flower. And this is a fairly new Wink of Stella, so plenty of glimmer is coming out of it. And then my dark one. Okay, and let me brush this off because it did pick up some of that Melon Mambo ink. And then one last little blingy touch to this. I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. And I have my rhinestone basic jewels. And I have a sheet here. And I'm going to add a few of these onto my card. I'll put one there. And then put one in here. And then one more kind of like up here. So the perfect amount of bling for our cards. So let me show you how that came out. So there is our first card. On to our second. Okay, so our first card was for the pink lovers. Now our second card is going to be for those that love purple. So for my card base, I have a piece of Highland Heather. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. And then I have scraps of basic white and fresh Freesia. So for my fresh Freesia piece, I'm going to bring back in that larger scallop die again. So that will be die cut, and I'll set that aside. I'm going to take my Highland Heather card base and I'm going to fold and burnish that. And there's a stamp that I already see that I forgot to pull out of my stamp set. There's one with all these little spots on it. Let me get a block for that. Okay. And then the colors of ink that I'm going to use for this project, I have Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Night of Navy. So I'm going to take my Gorgeous Grape, and I have a piece of scrap paper that I'm going to stick underneath this. And I am going to, well, I know what I'm going to be doing later. I got to clean that. There's too much ink all over the outside of that. I don't know about you, but that drives me crazy. Just saying. Okay. So I am going to stamp these randomly around the outside of my card. I'm not going to worry about the inside portion of it because most of all this will be covered. Up here and a few more in here, like so. Okay, and then I'll close that up and I will set my card base aside because we're done with that part. Now on my scrap pieces, so for this one here I want to bring in another one of those dies, and this is another of the scalloped ones, and there is like a cut edge in here, but it's still all intact. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to die cut that. And then on this piece, I'm going to bring in this grouping of flowers here, and I'm going to stamp that in my Night of Navy. And actually the Highland Heather ink, I don't need that. I pulled out, so I have these, I do have the color cube, and I went in there looking for color combinations, and when I was pulling out the colors that coordinated with what was on the card, I pulled out the ink pads, but I didn't use, the ink pads on all the images. I did bring in my blends and a Stampin' Right marker to color in my flowers. We do not have Gorgeous Grape in our blends, so I had to bring in the regular Stampin' Right marker. Okay, so then I'm going to close this up. We're going to need that again when we go to stamp our greeting. Now this is the part where I'm going to speed it up. So let me explain what I'll do first. So these pieces, I will die cut those. And for these flowers, I'll color them in. So again, I'll be using light Highland Heather, light Fresh Freesia, and my dark Lemon Lime Twist. And since we don't have Gorgeous Grape in our Stampin' Blends, which are our alcohol markers, I am going to bring in our Stampin' Right marker. This is our water-based marker in Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to use this to color in one of the flowers. So with that, I will be right back. Okay, so let me bring in all of my pieces. Okay, so on this piece here of my Fresh Freesia, I want to bring in my Night of Navy ink and my greeting that says, "Thank you for everything." I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that in the bottom right-hand corner. Like so. Okay. All right. And I could see that my ink was my Night of Navy ink was still a little bit wet when I went to color that. Okay, so for this piece here, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal. Add some adhesive to the back of this. Now I am not going to put this on straight. I'm going to put this on at an angle, like so. Okay, and then this piece, this is what I was saying, that it does add like a cut slit on both sides. So you could easily take ribbon and you can kind of run that through that if you wanted to. Interesting die. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this at an angle as well. Right here. Okay, and then on this piece, I am going to, let's see, bring in my glue dots and my dimensionals. I'm going to add one of these behind each of my flowers. And then I bring in my Take Your Pick tool. And these glue dots are from past paper pumpkin kits. The ones that we sell in the catalog are on a roll in a box. But I have so many of these that I might as well use them. Okay, so let me remove the paper backings off all of this. So I do hope the lighting is better on the video. I do have the camera down a little bit lower. I'm pretty sure I could probably bring it down just a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to take my flowers and I'm going to add them like so. And then I'm going to take another 2 of these glue dots. And I'm going to put it on either side of my stem of this flower. And then I am going to bring in this is the Fresh Freesia Open Weave Ribbon. Fresh Freesia was one of our in colors, and the year that it was to retire was the same year that we had a color refresh, and I'm creating a little bow. And when these colors went to retire, Fresh Freesia actually stayed and became part of one of our core colors. So it's in our Subtles color collection. But the ribbon did not carry over, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to create my bow. I think that looks good. Okay. I'm going to make the loop a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my snips. And I'm going to trim that. So, and I will place my bow right there. And then we're going to add some more bling. So again, we're going to bring in the Wink of Stella. And I'm going to brush this over my flowers. Okay. And I'll brush that color that I picked up off. And then I have my rhinestones. I'm going to add some of those on here. And then one more right there. And let me kind of get, whoops, that don't go there. Okay, let me kind of get this stuff out of the way. There is one thing that I do want to bring to your attention before I shut down. So here is our second card. And let me bring in the first one. So here are our two cards. Cards for the ones that love the pink and the other for those that love the purple. So the thing that I can't talk very well. So the thing that I did want to mention to you, since it's already started, and the only time I can really talk about this is when I do my videos, and I will have another one tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow will be my Friday Night Live, and I will be featuring the 2 Market Suite. So that is the suite in our new catalog that has all the vegetables in it. So that's what I'll be doing for Friday. But I did want to make you aware that currently Stampin' Up! Does have a sale that's, well, it's not really a sale, it's a promotion. It's called Bonus Days. So for the month of July, this is from July 3rd, excuse me, until July 31st. For every $50 that you spend, you earn a $5 coupon. Now, after you place your order, say if your order was $150, you would, and this is before the tax and the shipping, you would receive 3 $5 coupons. And these coupons are actually like a series of numbers, and you will receive that in an email. I would say it's maybe 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes after you have submitted the order. Now, this is good for the whole entire month. So if you're placing multiple orders throughout the month, you want to save those emails, either flag them or take the codes and copy and paste them into, like, say, a Word document so you have them all together. Because then in the month of August, you will be able to redeem them, and you can use one of the coupons on your order, you can use half of them, you can use all of them. So that happens in the month of August. And another thing I did want to make mention, if you, I don't know if you would remember or not, but at the beginning of the year when we had Celebration in January and February of this year, the Stampin' Glass Mat Studio was a free offering for those that joined during Celebration. Now, there was so much interest in this glass mat that Stampin' Up! Did make it available again for the demonstrators to pre-order it last month in June, but now this is available for customers to purchase. Here in the US, it is $60. You can find this in our online exclusives. This is not in any of our paper publications. And with that also, there have been some new items that are available in our online exclusives. There's 2 new card kits for this month. And then there's a whole bunch of like stamp and die bundles. There's a couple of suites, and it's all like fall and Christmas. So all of this you can find in our online exclusives. There's some ribbon and some fun dies and some decorative masks. And yeah, there's a whole lot of fun things that are now in the online exclusives. So the link to my online store is in the description of the video. One other thing that I would like to mention, I wanted a huge thank you. I mean, it's just a really, really huge thank you to those of you who have visited my channel and have liked the projects that I have made and have commented and have subscribed. Just recently, I've had a lot of people subscribe to my channel and comment, and the biggest comments that I got was on a video that I did earlier this month, technically on the first of each month. I do my monthly Christmas card inspiration, and typically it's 2 simple, easy, duplicatable cards that you can make, in advance. So the whole idea is, to be inspired and create your Christmas cards early. Well, my last one that I did, and it just posted on the 3rd of July, I did a technique called One Sheet Wonder. So instead of 2 cards, I actually created 4 cards. And there has been a huge, I mean huge, response to that video. I was totally wowed, and I think I may have to do a lot more techniques because it seems like that's what you probably want to see. So I want to thank everyone, every one of you who have liked that video and have subscribed and commented. Thank you so much. And with that being said, if you are new to my channel and if you like this project, or if you've been with me for a while, if you like these projects that I made, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It is helping me in not only growing this channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. So everyone, be safe, stay cool if you are in areas where it's summer and it's really hot. And also prayers for those of you that were in the path of Hurricane Beryl, and even those that dealt with the tropical, depression or whatever that made its way up north. It just went to the west of us, so we didn't get the blunt of a lot of wind and a lot of heavy rain. But prayers going out to all of you who, have experienced like flooding or damage or anything like that from that hurricane. So everyone, be blessed, and I will see you on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll be featuring the 2 Market Suite collection. So until then, everyone, have a blessed one. Bye-bye.